Been around the traps for a long time, played at Palmerston as well, and had a pretty good season so far. Southern District Crocs have also got a couple of blokes that I used to play with for Yarrawonga in Brett Henderson and Marcus McMillan, who have both had very good seasons for them. One at centre-half forward, one at centre-half back. So very much looking forward to see how they go. And an early prediction, Matt.
Well, I think Palmerston's going to come out of the blocks pretty hard, but I reckon Distrcts will end up running away with it.
Yeah, it's a massive game for Palmerston. If they win today, it leaves them 2 games out of the 5. And obviously if they lose, they go 4 games out of the 5 with not much hope of sneaking in after Christmas. But a win and then a game next week against Wanderers gives them a real hope that after the Christmas maybe they can sneak in and have it settled that flag.
Yeah, it's a pretty close competition in the middle part there. I mean, it's good having the final 5 out of an 8-team competition. It means that you're never really out. I mean, Wanderers are still a chance to make the finals. Really, the only team you could really rule out at this stage is the Buffaloes. So anything could happen after Christmas. It's just about putting yourself in a good position going into the break.
Absolutely, and we're just getting ready for the first bounce here as the Magpies are kicking towards the airport end with big Buff Ewing heading to the goal square.
Doesn't leave the goal square, apparently.
No, that's right. Well, he just sits up in the grandstand eating pies all day when he's not, if you read the paper. But be interesting to see how many Ks the big fella does. I reckon he'll shed a few kilos in this heat.
Certainly will. It'll do him all the world of good.
Looks like we've got Kirsten Hunter picking up Rolton Roberts for Southern Districts. And Sammy Audio's gone forward with Keegan Dingo picking him up. That'll be interesting to see how that tussle pans out. The ball's bounced up. Districts look to get it clear. Nice slick handball. Kicks wide of the mark. Southern Districts have got it on the half-forward line and the ball trickles out of bounds. Matt Cunnard it was there with the first clearance of the game. Been in excellent form. Past Nichols medalist and one of the top-line players in the NTFL competition. Ball's up against again, and Jake Dignan gets a kick forward. Good tackle in the middle of the ground. Here comes Pierce Little through the middle of the ground. Sammy Audio's on for the handball. Not much of a kick forward. Buff Ewing out of the goal square, out of the 50. Here he is, the big gun, trying to get clear. Wrapped up. It's a hectic start, and the umpire will come in and ball it up.
Well, there you go. We're not even a minute into the game, and Buff's already left the 50. Never mind the goal square.
Ball's tapped clear again. Bit of a push in the back, and good call from the umpire. John Pratt now pumped the ball long into the forward line. Buff Ewing's one out and spills what he might have normally taken. Gets hit high. Play on, says the umpire. Keegan Dingo brings the ball out. And that man playing his 100th game, Glenn Randall. Nice kick down the wing. And a good contest. Chop in the arm, says the umpire. Bit stiff there. And the free kick goes to Lionel Ogden.
Looks like he's hurt his ankle there. Fell awkwardly after that contest.
Gives it to Shannon Rusker.
Keep an eye on him behind play.
And Glenn Randall again, getting into it early in his 100th. Jason Clark underneath the ball. And a good mark by number 20, Aaron Hilberg.
Yeah, Ogden's come off the ground with that ankle. It looks a little bit worse for where he's in the hands of the trainers now. Dean Staunton's come back on for him. So a bit of pace injected into the back line for the Districts.
Yeah, James Lawton shot on goal, went through for a point, and Palmerston will bring it back in. Rowan Smith's got a mountain of space here if he pops him up about 30 metres out. Ray Jance decides to go wider.
There's nothing on up the ground. They've got to come back into the corridor and out this side at the moment. Dignan's broke hard. They might use him further up the ground.
Anyone picking up Dignan early, Matty? Have you noticed, mate?
Can't tell right now. Diggs has got a pretty good work rate, so he should be able to outrun most of the District's opponents, but it'll be interesting to see if they double team him as the match goes on. Yeah,
fantastic chase and tackle there by Keegan Dingo, and Sammy Audio's going to have his work cut out trying to beat him today. Good mark there from Lawton in the forward line for the Crocs.
Great grab there. He outmarked Cloak, so it's a very strong grab.
Yeah, probably Cloak there. Probably should have punched, I reckon, from behind. Probably perhaps going down a standard, you probably think you're going to get it a bit easier at times, but Lawton's certainly a good player in good form and will mark those 9 times out of 10.
He's going to be kicking from just on 50. He marked his spot earlier.
And probably should have been touched on the line, but I think it's gone through.
Yeah,
and the first score of the day.
Cloak was arguing with the umpire there, saying that he was pushed out of the contest, but, I mean, a man of his size shouldn't get pushed around that easily on the goal line, so it's probably his own fault that one went through over.
And the first goal of the game to Southern Districts through James Lawton, number 26. Interesting start. Haven't noticed anything intriguing structure-wise. Southern seem to be structured up all through the corridor of the ground up forward.
Yeah, they seem to be all... they've pushed back off the centre square, so they're giving their midfielders space if they go over the top. They obviously think they've got an ascendancy in the ruck. They reckon looks a good 4 or 5 inches taller, so just trying to get it and push it forward as best they can by the looks.
Yeah, Andrew Browning for Southern Districts, about 6'4" ruckman against Rowan Smith, who's got his work cut out. He's about 6'1", 18-year-old for Palmerston Magpies, who normally plays in the forward line. So Pierce Little just working it down through Clint Guy. Nicely corralled by Relton Roberts. The kick goes pretty much straight up in the air. And a good mark by Jake Dignan.
Yeah, the Palmerston players almost spoiled themselves there. They ran into each other. It's not the best usage there by Diggs, but that is beautiful usage.
Yeah, Henry Labasito, a fantastic little player, and he spotted up that man again, James Lawton, who's about 25 metres out on a slight angle and will probably put this one through.
Yeah, he started well, Lawton. He's every chance to kick his second goal. He shouldn't miss this one. Regulation goal, you think, Tavis?
And what about the kick there from your man, Jake Dignan?
Yeah, just stabbed at it. Trying to come back into the corridor maybe before it was on. So this time of the game when everyone's up and on their toes, maybe it might be just a bit safer to kick down the line.
And Lawton now kicks his second goal and is looking pretty dangerous for Southern Districts. Moving well up there. He's a reasonable size guy too. Looks about 6'3", 6'4". Moves very well for a big man.
Yeah, he does. He's pretty lean, so he looks like he should have a fair engine on him. Doesn't obviously have to carry around as much weight as Darren Ewing down the other end. Different types of full forward.
Absolutely, and exactly the start Palmerston didn't want in a crunch game, must-win game. Intensity around the footy's been good, but again, probably their usage of the ball's let them down at this stage.
Yeah, they're just struggling to get past the half-back line at the moment. Districts are applying all sorts of pressure, so they just need to get that release over the top so they can start to use their running carry and get it in long to Buff.
And Browning will be very confident here of winning most of the ruck taps. Like we said, has a considerable height advantage against Rowan Smith for the Palmerston Magpies. Dignan comes through, gets that clearance away there.
Kennard just had a second look there and fumbled one he should have taken.
Absolutely.
Ducked his head, so the umpire called play on. He'll come in now to bounce it.
Pretty good start in perfect conditions for footy. It's quite hot, but no real breeze out there, no goal advantage. I wouldn't have thought. Good kick away by Liston, and Keegan Dingo in front of Sam Audio. Plays for the 50, but it's not really on. He's got Rusker and Henderson wide if he wants, but he elects to go straight down the middle of the ground. Henderson still on. And he marks unopposed on the back flank. He's got Rusker short if he wants him. Looks like he wants to go straight down the line. Comes back inboard. Falls short the kick.
It's a dangerous spot to turn the footy over.
That could be holding the ball. I think he's dragged it in and probably got away with one there, and it'll be a ball up. Good tackle by Sammy Audio.
Yeah, very lucky there. He probably just fell over the footy. Should have been pinned holding the ball, but got away with one there, Districts.
Kennard's working his way in, trying to fight that ball out. Gets the handball away to Glenn Randall.
Cloak's coming in from the side. Big contest.
Good crumbing there from Nathan Roach. Jason Cloak gets the ball free. Probably should have handballed that and gets pinged for holding the ball. Perhaps a little stiff, seemed to get his boot to it, but took one on when he probably shouldn't have, and the handball to Pierce Little was definitely on.
Yeah, he definitely just tried to do too much there. Needed to slip the first one. Early times of the game, just got to give that one and come out away with it.
Ansell Reddy turns it over to Braden McLean, and one thing about Braden McLean is he'll use it well. He's gone wide out to Marty.
Oh, Marty has made an absolute mess of that. Palmerston were away there if they'd have used that better. It probably started with the Braden McLean kick. It didn't quite hit Marty well enough, so a bit of a disappointment there for Palmerston. It was their first real chance to run against the tide of things.
Yeah, Marty Jones called in late as Kevin Verdicombe, gun recruit from NT Thunder, couldn't make it over today. So Martin Jones comes in to the ruck. Sammy Audio takes the mark on the half-forward line, looks for Buff Ewing. Over his head, but good crumbing. Great second effort from Buff Ewing. Probably unlucky not to get another free kick, to be honest. And Sam Audio gathers. Shannon Rusker leads Ewing in the charge for the ball. Handballs it out to Keegan Dingo in the back line. He looks up. And a big collision there with Braden McLean. Nathan McLean gets the ball. Marty Jones kicks without looking. Browning overruns the footy. That's a pretty scrappy start to this game. John Pratt gets in there. Nice handball out. That might be Sheldon Nally, I think, who's hit the post for Palmerston. And they registered their first score.
Yeah, it was just pressure that brought on that goal for Palmerston there. They didn't want to give the footy up in their forward half, so worked hard. A bit unlucky not to get the result in the end, but that's the sort of work rate they need to be able to generate a few more scoring shots.
Rusker just brings it in to Labasida, who goes short again to Michael Laidlaw. Another from down south. I think he plays down Yarrawonga way somewhere. And a good tackle out on the wing. Southern Districts trying hard to get the ball out. Dwayne Hamlin gets the handball out to Jason Cloak. Could have handballed again, kicks blindly to centre half forward. Sam Audio has to sit underneath it. Justin Emery's in there trying to get it out.
Nothing but Palmerston around the football.
That's a beautiful kick by Hamlin, gives it to Ewing, and Ewing loves those ones and marks on his chest about 10 metres out from goal.
Yeah, Districts players just caught napping there. It was probably 5-on-2 at the ground of that contest at centre half forward. So Districts have just got to start working back into the defence a bit harder, or else Palmerston will get these shots on goal.
And fair to say the first 5 minutes belong to Districts, but the last 5 minutes Palmerston have been working their way back into this contest quite well.
Yeah, they absolutely have. They've just taken a bit of time to settle, but you think now that it's going to even out into a good quarter of football.
As Ewing pops that one through for the Maggies' first goal.
And look at them all get round him.
And the scores are 1-1-7 to 2-1-13. Southern Districts got a 1-goal lead at the 10-minute mark of the first quarter.
Yeah, Darren Ewing just used his body well there. It's part of his trade that he perfected over the years. He just nudges his opponent under the ball, doesn't push him, doesn't put his hands in his back or anything, but just uses his thighs and his hips just to nudge his opponent under and takes probably more chest marks than overhead marks, you'd say, and they're contested chest marks, so something that not many full forwards do in the modern game, but Darren still manages to pull it off every now and then.
I've just noticed Jason Cloak's gone to Will Farah, so it could be a good marking duel there as the game progresses. Ball goes up again. Henry Labasida gets the clearance for Southern Districts. Renal Reddy gets one high for the Crocs, and he'll take the mark take the kick about 60 metres from goal. Pretty crowded in there. He kicks short, and a good spoil that time from Jason Cloak as Lawton comes through again. Good tackle as Palmerston try to move the ball out of their defence. Renal Reddy mops up well, and it's going to be another ball up. Antal Reddy, sorry. Ball goes up. Southern Districts ruckman unopposed. Good handball there from Pierce Little.
Got a man just sitting behind the play. Here he comes now, the big ruckman.
Big Browning. Good call, Matty Argus. And an excellent smother there from Pierce Little, the courageous captain of the Pies. As the boundary umpire brings the ball back in.
See the players just starting to tire towards the middle part of this first quarter. You can obviously see the heat sap the first bit of energy that they had. Just a few players walking around the field, not as much movement as what there was early.
Absolutely. Great kick by Nathan McLean as the Maggies switch out to Ray Jantz, who's on the back flank. He looks up, got the brilliant lead from Dave Liston, who normally plays down back. Shannon Rusker beats him in their one-on-one contest, but the ball beats him out of bounds.
Yeah, Rusker just had the experience and the knowledge there just to corral his opponent and make sure the ball went out of play.
Browning throwing his weight around at the ruck jewels, as you'd imagine. John Pratt comes over the top. And didn't see that free kick, but it's going to Marty Jones of Palmerston for a hold, is the call. Pratt comes around the back, gets the handball, loves to kick it long, and that is a beautiful long kick. Ewing at the back, probably could have nearly grabbed that one as well. He's had a couple that have hit his hands, and the ball goes out in a pretty good result for the Pies, 15 metres out from their goal.
Yeah, Buff will be a little bit disappointed with that one. He probably got one hand to it. He could have got the other one there, but just an unlucky one.
Yeah, there's been a couple he's got his hands to that he probably could have nearly had 3 or 4 goals already, big Buff. Yeah, moving very well.
He's the sort of player that a lot of teams in the Thunder season, opposition teams, really had to double team him because he works so well in a one-on-one. He just pushes his opponent wherever he wants him. So other opposition teams really need somebody to be able to come over the top of those contests and spoil the ball. Yeah,
in the meanwhile, Laidlaw's given away a free kick to Dwayne Hamlin, 15 metres out from goal. So Hamlin might put one through here and tie up the scores. Kick's on its way, and it's a bit of a stinker, but he's kicked it, and he loves it, the big fella. He's celebrating with a bit of gusto.
I think Dan Roy might have just given him one to go on with there as he was running past, but nothing eventuated from it.
So at the 15-minute mark, the scores are locked up, 2-1-13 apiece. And after early indications looked like Crocs might have run away with it, Palmerston have really fought back, and I'd say they're on top here at the moment.
Yeah, they definitely are. They've taken advantage of the couple of times they've gone forward lately, and the Distrcts forward line might be getting a bit edgy down there. They haven't seen the footy in the last 5 or so minutes.
And just quickly, Matthew, how's your injury coming along?
Yeah, injury's coming along pretty well. Back in full training now for Thunder, so our pre-season's kicked off. So I've got to make sure I can sort of get nice and fit for our premiership defence in 2012.
And I believe AFL legend Wally Gallio has been taking you for the pre-season while Daniel Archer's away.
Yeah, Wally, along with our strength and conditioning coaches at Bodyfit, have been looking after our pre-season training while we're waiting for our new coach Daniel Archer to finally move up. So Wally, he does enjoy putting us through our paces in a tough pre-season, so he's a bit old-fashioned in that way, but it's good to finally get some run under the legs.
And Clinton Guy gets the ball out of the centre. Sheldon Nally goes for goal. Probably should have done better on that occasion.
Really should have done better then.
And Southern Districts bring it out. Good running from Henry Labasita. He's had an excellent start to the game. Reads the play well. Seems to use it well.
Space over the top here. They just need someone to run into it. Palmerston have pushed their midfielders back and have clogged it up now.
Yeah, Cannard goes long down the line. At the back is Nathan McLean, but the ball beats him over the line. And how's your dealings been with Daniel Archer so far?
Yeah, it's good. He's come up a couple of times since his appointment. He officially moves up on Monday. But the time he's spent up here, he's come out and we've caught up for dinner with the playing group and himself. And yeah, he seems like a great addition to the club. He's got some good ideas and seems like a very dedicated and driven person. So, you know, he seems like a good replacement for Murray, who did so well with us over the last 2 years and also the year when he was the development coach.
No worries. Beautiful mark and kick by Braden McLean. Oh my God. This is an extraordinary decision. Sam Audio's dropped a mark and the umpire is called to ball it up when there was not a player anywhere near him.
Yeah, it's an unlucky one to say the least for Sammy Audio there, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, at least it wasn't a goal or anything that went the wrong way.
Yeah. Relton Robertson fighting hard. Player tackled without the ball and a good pick up from the umpire as Braden McLean. Beautiful kick with the left foot, gives Ewing a chance. Ewing got his hands to that one as well. Browning pushed back hard. Justin Emery loves this situation and he's come back to Sammy Audio, who's hit the post for the second time today. But that poster gives Palmerston a 1-point lead.
Yeah, it was Jake Dignan back here who got the free kick from the umpire. He probably could have won an Academy Award with it. The umpire was on the wrong side of the contest. There was no free kick there to be given, but Dougie Dignan did his best to earn it.
And just with obviously the 25-game rule's been very, very contentious in the papers up here. Have you actually spoken to guys like Jake Dignan and Buff Ewing about what their thoughts are?
I've spoken to the guys, obviously, at Thunder Training about what they think about it, and they're pretty sensible in their approach to their football, so they say that while it's nice to sort of have some time away from it all, it's still good to be able to have a kick of the footy. So they sort of sat on the fence with it all, as you'd expect.
Sitting on the fence there, giving us nothing, Matty Argus, as you'd expect. Good punch away by Ray Jantz, who gets the handball back from Braden McLean, then swings on the left boot out in front of Clint Guy, running onto the footy.
Stay and play here. Didn't quite.
Palmy were away again. They've been a little bit unlucky this last 5 minutes. Ewing probably could have grabbed a couple more marks. They've hit the post twice.
Yeah, they really needed to take advantage of this time where they've had the majority of possession. I mean, to only be a point up, you'd say Distrcts had the better for the first 5 minutes, but since then, you know, Palmerston's been in control the last 15, and to only be leading by a point, they'd probably be pretty disappointed.
Absolutely. Canard got that clearance away against for Southern Districts, and Palmerston seem to have had a player back at most of these stoppages, and Ray Jantz runs the ball over the line. A little bit unlucky there. He had Nathan McLean on for the handball, and Palmerston would have been away yet again.
Yeah, but that's where you just got to be so clean with your one touch. You just fumbled that one, and that's what led to it going over the boundary line.
Didn't pick that one either.
No, there's something behind play by the looks of it.
And it's going to Palmies. Rubber the green with the umpires going Palmerston's way at the moment as Jake Dignan. What's he going to do, the big gun? Switches the play with a beautiful kick across the ground to Pierce Little.
Not a whole lot up the ground.
Marks unopposed. Sammy Audio's on here. Swings back around. Not much on for Pierce at the moment. He decides to go short to 23.
Expect Jake Dignan to get one short here. He always picks up the short ones around these contests.
Maslin Braun comes inboard. Nice.
Got lucky there, I think.
he got very lucky, but Liston will take it. Out wide to Zach Stevenson. He comes inboard with a beautiful kick to Kirsten Hunter, who plays on. You'll be looking for Ewing. The kick short. Ewing's a chance here. Oh, he got held again. Off the ground. Oh, and the ball's hit the post and gone out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in.
Yeah, the idea by Kirsten Hunter there was right. He got the footy about the attacking zone, turned and went, tried to get it in nice and long to Darren Ewing, one out in the square, but it was just the execution of his skills that let him down.
As the ball's thrown up, it's been very tight. Massive amount of numbers around all these boundary throw-ins we've had so far. Matt, not sure if that's a ploy from both coaches?
Yeah, hard to say. I mean, you wouldn't expect either team to want to clog it up more than the other. Both teams would be pretty evenly matched with pace and size, so... Quick kick out there. Was that Kirsten Hunter again? Yeah,
and it just drifted wide, out of bounds on the full, and Jack O'Shaughnessy will be bringing it in. Going short to your boy, Shannon Rusker.
Old Rusker, stalwart of the competition. One of my favourite NT Thunder players.
Oh, no doubt. Probably still in the top 5 best players in the NTFL, you'd imagine. He's past Nichols medalist and played league footy for 2 clubs. He's an absolute beauty, Shannon Rusker.
Yeah, I started following him back when he was at my club, Brisbane Lions, so I supported. I think he started when they were still the Bears, so it was almost that long ago. And
Lionel Ogden goes short to Lawton, who swings around. Willie Farah's got a bit of space here. He flies for it, as Willie does, but misses that, and that's a massive amount of pace coming through from Pierce Little, who's had an excellent first quarter. Kicks it out wide to Lindsay Maureen, who's a fantastic young player. He kicked about 8 goals for Palmerston in the second half of the under-18s match last weekend, and he looked $1 million. So interesting to see how he goes today as Ewing hits his hands again. Getting manhandled and not getting much love from the umpires is Darren Ewing early.
No, he's allergic to free kicks, I think you'll find, Darren Ewing. He can't buy a free kick in any competition that he plays, and he's got the full forward curse of being allergic to free kicks.
I don't know what you thought, but I thought when he turned his opponent inside out last time, he got held on to as well. He was unlucky not to get one. Yeah,
there's probably if you got paid the free kicks where in the midfield you'd see those free kicks played all the time, but umpires just seem to keep the whistle in the pocket when it's anywhere within about 30 metres of goal.
And they're just letting the play go here. Probably could have called for a ball up a couple of times as Palmerston come through. And Emery gets taken high, and he will have a shot on his left boot about 40 metres out on a very tight angle. He's got Braden McLean, actually, who wants the ball inboard, but I think he's going to have a crack.
Yeah, Shannon Rusker just came in a little bit overzealous with the tackle there. He took him high when he probably should have watched the hips and just corralled him a bit better.
Yeah, Justin Emery having the shot here for Palmerston. Had a brilliant start to the year. Kicked 4 and 5 in the first 2 games and looked $1 million. Been a little bit quieter since then. And he's just missed there and kicked it through for a behind. The score is 2-3-15 to 2-1-13.
Palmerston still not taking full advantage of the opportunities they've had at the back end of this first quarter, so only a 2-point lead with 5 minutes to go.
Kennard goes wide and Lionel Ogden kicks the ball up to Antal Reddy, who's been pretty dangerous across half forward for the Crocs. He kicks wide again to Big Lawton, who's been a machine, but in that instance put the hands in the back, and a free kick to Jason Cloak, who I think might have staged that one as well, Matty.
Yeah, there was hands in the back, but I think Cloak paid it for everything it was worth. But Lawton worked really hard then. You probably couldn't see it off the ball, but he probably made 2 or 3 different leads before Antal Reddy actually decided to use him. So he's probably a bit tired when he put the hands in the back, just lazy, I guess. And
Pratt had a lot of space to work in and kicks short to Pierce Little, who goes wider to Kirsten Hunter. Kirsten caught in 2 minds. Again, probably a bit of a grubber kick, went short. Justin Emery, well done, out to Sammy Audio. Clever little kick out to Dwayne Hamlin.
That's a beautiful kick.
It is a beautiful centering kick to Buff Ewing. Another one he got to his hands. He's gone off the ground again and probably could have got another free kick. And Southern Districts ends up being out of bounds and a throw-in deep in Palmerston's attacking 50. Not long to go on this first quarter. Do you think Palmerston just need the next goal? As we speak, the siren sounds. Yeah, absolutely. At quarter time here, it's 2-3-15 Palmerston leading Southern Districts 2-1-13. Goal kickers for Palmerston, Ewing has 1 and Hammer Time Hamlin has 1. And for Southern District, James Lawton, who started the quarter so brilliantly, kicked 2 early goals. And apart from that, I would say Southern Districts probably only had the ball inside their forward 50 2 or 3 times. Yeah, it was definitely Palmerston's quarter, and the scoreboard doesn't probably reflect the influence they had on the quarter then. The umpire just showing something to Lawton. Did you see that? Yeah, he was actually. I know that as a player not allowed to touch an umpire, but there's no doubt the umpire manhandled the player on that occasion. Certainly, I think he was just showing him how he's supposed to push Cloak in the back. I didn't think you could push anyone in the back regardless. But no, that's a good point. But the umpires do know best, Matthew, as you know better than anyone. That's right, they certainly do. Absolutely, the sting went out of that game there towards the end of the quarter. It's very, very hot conditions up here in the middle of the wet season. Yeah, a lot of wet towels and ice vests being passed around. The players going straight over to the shade, so you can see they're struggling with the heat a bit. Better players that quarter, Matthew? Jake Dignan got his hands on the footy early, but Shannon Rusker was good in the back line for Southern Districts. Just his composure back there sort of stopped what could have been a few more opportunities for Palmerston. And Darren Ewing looks dangerous. He's only kicked the 1, is it, so far? Yeah, only kicked the 1. Yeah, just the 1, but he's probably been close on 3 or 4 occasions. Absolutely, and Pierce Little running off the back flank for the Magpies as well has looked fantastic at times. So I'll just go back quickly to Daniel Archer. And do you think he'll change the game style much that Murray Davis implemented with such success last year? He might have a few slight changes, I guess, but it's a game style that Murray sort of worked on. A lot of people sort of think, where did our success come from this year? And it wasn't a game style that just evolved over one pre-season. It's something we've been working on since 2010 season. Arch will probably have a couple of changes and just tweak it slightly, but it's a system that's obviously worked for us, and all the players know it and trust it really well. So that's one of the most important things with any game structure, is if the players are going to get behind it 100%, because all it takes is one player not to do it and the whole thing just falls down. Absolutely. And what's the focus been so far in the pre-season? Running, really. Yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing before Christmas. A lot of running. We touched the footies a little bit, but it's more just about building a really strong base that we can go into January, February, March, and then our first game. Just endurance or fartlek running? What type of running? Give us something, mate. Oh, it's a bit more of a shorter style. So our strength and conditioning coaches at Bodyfit they're market leaders with all the sports technology and science and everything like that. So we do a lot more short, consistent efforts. So we'll do an 8-second run with 12 seconds off, and we'll do that for about 5 or 6 minutes.
have a couple of minutes off, and then you extend it to 12 seconds on, 8 seconds off. So by the end of it, we've had the heart rate monitors on a few times, and most of the players are sort of averaging for the training session heart rates in excess of 170 and maxing out at around 200. So the boys are definitely putting in the hard yards in these early stages.
Absolutely. And what's your thoughts on next year? Is the NEFL competition going to get stronger? Is Thunder still the team to beat, or can we see a challenger from elsewhere?
I hope we can still be the team to beat. There'll be a few changes in our side. We obviously lose a couple of players through retirement, and a few of the other boys are moving interstate or travelling overseas in the case of Dane Bergman and Carl Lode. So like any side, we'll have our changes, but it's about making sure that the new players that come into the side can really fit into those positions well, and we take any challenges that come our way and come out the other side better for it.
No worries. We're just about to get underway for the second quarter, and you've played more 40 here than me. Matthew, is kicking to the airport end an advantage, or nothing in it?
Well, I've kicked one goal at TIO Stadium, and it was going away from the airport end, so to me that's my goal scoring end. Yeah, I'm not sure if one end's any better than the other, particularly on a day like this where it's so still.
Fair enough. Players come back out. Not with a huge amount of enthusiasm, it must be said. Matthew,
no, very tight game. The players look tired. Cloak just showing off his big rig there. The shirt off. Doesn't quite look in the form of what he might have when he was in an AFL club.
Nah, it's a shame his brother's not up. Cameron was in fantastic form for the Magpies until he broke his hand against the Tiwi Bombers. But word is that he'll be back after Christmas as well. So if the Pies can get up this weekend, like we said, in this match, and then hopefully get over the line against Wanderers, that might only be one game out, and hit after Christmas with a wet sail.
Yeah, after Christmas is really when it's going to start to liven up the competition, isn't it? I mean, Nightcliff, who's going to beat them this year? I haven't really seen too much of a team that can threaten them. They've got Tiwi are they playing Tiwi this week?
Yeah, play Tiwi tomorrow, I think. And my hot tip is that Tiwi are going to beat them tomorrow. And I think that Tiwi, at this stage, are the team to beat. And I think Wanderers, if they can get a good run at it, could also cause a few headaches come finals time.
What about St Mary's? Do you think around finals they could still produce the goods?
Oh, absolutely. And they play Waratahs after this game, and I would imagine that they'll win that quite comfortably. As Pierce Little takes the mark on the wing for the Pies and kicks up to Sam Audio, who's had the better of the duel against Keegan Dingo in the last 10 minutes of the game, but that is a very, very poor kick. And Southern District's mark unopposed. Back down the line, and Sammy Audio's back in the action, brings the ball to the ground, and then smothers, and that's a fantastic result for the Pies, and the ball will be thrown in. You played a lot with Sammy Audio, Matty?
No, I haven't actually. I've never had the pleasure of playing with Sammy. Hopefully I might get a chance this year if he decides to come along to NT Thunder.
Absolutely. Browning wins the tap again. Canard gets the ball clear, and Braden McLean, who's started magnificently well, takes the mark and always uses it well. This is no exception, and Clint Guy gets the ball. If he moves it on quickly, he's got John Pratt making space in the forward line. He decides to play on, and the ball comes off the side of his boot but lands fortuitously in the hands of Sammy Audio. Nathan McLean is in space, but I think Sammy fancies his chances from here, Matty.
It's going to be a fair roost from out here. You reckon he can make it? You know him better than I.
Well, he's going to have a crack at it. He's leaned back on it. I think it's going to just drop short, and Ewing, he's taken one, the big gun. Only just, Matty, but he'll claim that, no doubt.
That's right. McLean will not be happy with that. Major McLean, that is. Having Darren Ewing taking a mark in front, unopposed, really, at the tip of the goal square. It's every coach's worst nightmare.
Absolutely, and Ewing comes in to extend the Maggies' lead to 8 points and take his goal scoring tally to 2 so far today. And as we said, he's probably been unlucky. He probably could have had 4 or 5 goals already, Buff Ewing.
Even that grab wasn't overly convincing to me. It sort of wrapped around his back and
I think he was waiting for the contact and it just didn't come.
Yeah, it was a bit of a floating kick off the boot of Sammy Audio. It just floated around and ended up falling in the arms of the big full forward.
And ironically, it was a floating kick to Sammy Audio that, that allowed him to do that. So a couple of missed kicks for the Maggies, but they'll take it, no doubt.
Who said you had to have superb skills to win games of football?
Exactly right. Where's the game plan there? Browning.
He'll not sure. Yep. Dignan, I reckon.
He's given away the free kick. Yep, Dignan out the back. Number 13, beautiful little kick out wide to Pierce Little, who's been in sensational form. Got plenty of time as he looks up the ground. John Pratt tries to punch the ball forward. Cannard taps the ball free for the Crocs. Pratt gets the handball out, but it's turned over as Ogden kicks it forward. Jason Cloak in a one-on-one duel here, but Nathan McLean comes through for support. Uses some fancy feet, and Cloak gets wrapped up. I think this could be dropping the ball.
There. Was that,
and it is. That was a fantastic tackle. No, that was Ben Armat, I think that was. Number 4 or number 5?
No, it was number 5. It was Henry.
Okay.
Strong tackle on Cloak. He's probably given away the better part of 20 kilos there.
Yeah, he's a strong little dude, though, isn't he, Lepacita? Beautiful kick forward, but the ball goes out of bounds, and we'll have a throw-in 25 metres out of Southern District's goal.
I'm expecting Cloak just to muscle, grab it and have a snapshot. That's what I think is going to happen.
Cannot believe how many players are around this contest, Matt, and Ray Jance has just one out in the goal square as the exit point. And a quick little kick off the ground by Reddy, and he's kicked it through for a goal. Well, I completely missed that one and pretty much just stopped talking there, Matty, and watch the play unfold. And Southern Districts kicked the ball quickly, and Antal Reddy was pretty much unopposed in the goal square, dropped what he should have taken, and then turned around and dribbled it through.
Looks a little bit like Ronaldinho, Antal Reddy, so a couple of soccer skills coming out. He put it between the legs of the Palmerston player there.
He's a bit of a dude too, apparently, the big gun. Bit
of a dude.
Yeah, hits Mitchell Street and lets him know all about it, so he gets out and about. As the ball's thrown up again and Rowan Smith gets a tap away. Jake Dignan burrowing his way through underneath the pack. Clint Guy comes through, probably got taken high, and will get a free kick. Cannard pleading his case, but unfortunately for him, too high on that occasion.
Doesn't want to go too far with it, or else he won't get his umpire votes this week.
Sheldon Nally pumps the ball in long for Palmerston, and Brett Henderson, I think it is, takes the mark. Unopposed? No, it wasn't Brett Henderson. This is him here.
Dean Staunton against Braden McLean. Staunton just pushed him under the footy.
Good chase by Pierce Little. As the ball comes up.
Good pick up.
Henry Labastida gets the kick away, brings it inboard. And Southern District go deep into their forward line, one-on-one contest and holding the man. And I think that's Marcus McMillan who's got the free kick there. No, it's Lawton again, sorry. Lawton against Ray Jance.
So Lawton a chance to kick his third goal.
And on past efforts, you'd have to back him from here, I think.
Yeah, he just looks like he's sort of putting the Palmerston players in a bit of doubt. So the Palmerston player there just grabbing a bit of jersey, doing everything he could to sort of hold him down.
And you're the gun defender for Thunder, mate. What's your advice to young Ray Jance?
Probably try playing the forward line.
Fair enough, as Lawton comes through and kicks his third to give the lead back to Southern Districts. It's 4-1-25 to 3-3-21. And incredibly, Southern Districts are up after Palmerston have dominated the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, how quickly a game can turn. You know, it's much like it was in the first quarter. Southern Districts only really dominated 5 minutes of it, but still produced the scoreboard pressure.
Absolutely, and Shannon Rusker has moved up onto the wing. No doubt still very, very more than capable of playing in that position with his phenomenal pace. He'd have to still be probably the quickest in Thunder, would he?
Yeah, it's surprising just how quick he is, and also surprising with all the hamstring sort of injuries he's had over the last couple of years, just how good he is below his toes still as well at high speed. So you know, he's a player that just seems to be able to just keep going.
And a reasonably big man. He'd be 85, 86 kilos.
Yeah, very versatile. He's a utility sort of player. Like you now see him playing on the wing, but there's no reason why he couldn't go down and almost play as a key defender.
Marty Jones has gone into the ruck for the Pies, and he goes up against Browning. They clash arms, and John Pratt gets the kick away to Sheldon Nally, who dropped what he should have taken. Dignan came through, and Browning went the man instead of the ball as Clint Guy kicks it out wide in front of Sammy Audio, who's had a good start to this second quarter. Beats his man, well done. Great effort there by Sammy Audio. Keeps the ball alive. Clint Guy gets on the end of the handball and kicks it forward, and Ewing almost. And Lindsay Maureen, what can he do? The whiz kid keeps his feet and a good tackle. Well done. As John Pratt comes in for assistance. Maureen, manhandled but no free kick. Pushing the back to Rusker, not paid. Braden McLean got his hands free to Sheldon Nally. Interesting little kick. And there was 4-on-1, and he's picked out the one.
And Distrcts are away here at the far wing. That was a really bad turnover there for Palmerston, because Distrcts, if they keep moving the ball well, they've just got overlap and players everywhere inside 50.
And here's Antal Reddy, possibly the Crocs' best player so far today on the half-forward line. No doubt he'll go along, as he's done for the entire match so far. And Kirsten Hunter now playing in the back line. Goes wide to Jason Cloak and then runs hard forward. Cloak holds the play up, then comes inboard to Zach Stevenson. Zach Stevenson goes short when he probably should have gone long to Jake Dignan.
Yeah, Welton Roberts there just trying to jump up and cut that one off, but obviously couldn't go as high as he thought he might have been able to.
Doesn't have quite as much spring in the steps, old Rald. He's carrying a little bit more than he used to at his peak. And ready again on the left foot this time. He's not a one-trick pony, and Jason Cloak spoils straight to the advantage of Southern Districts. And number 4, that's Benny Armat, has put it through an unlikely goal to stretch Southern Districts' lead. They moved to 5-1-31 to 3-3-21.
Yeah, Cloak probably a bit unlucky there. He tried to do the right thing and run back into defence and spoil that through for a rush behind, but just probably didn't get enough purchase on it.
Yeah, didn't quite get enough. He probably actually should have tried to punch the ball over the boundary line almost from there, shouldn't he? But
is that what you would have done, Tav? Straight over the boundary?
I probably would have just taken it with the one juke, I would have thought, Matty. Not too sure about this spoiling caper, but all playing in the back line. I'll leave that to you, I imagine. But he did well, regardless, Armat, to pick up the crumbs. Shannon Rusker gets the clearance away for Southern Districts. Big bump there by the Palmerston player. Drags it in. Zach Stevenson gets the kick away. And that man, Shannon Rusker,
just knows how to position himself around the ground. He wants 50, not going to get it.
Kicks down the line, 2-on-1. Cloak comes from the side again, punches the ball clear. Zach Stevenson, done well. Oh, he should have gone with two hands there. And Southern Districts are a chance here through Reddy. Beautiful handball out to the 100-gamer in Randall. And he's hit the post. He was going to explode with the celebration if that one had gone through.
Southern District supporters already, they're on their feet. You could hear them down underneath us. They all wanted that one to go through.
Absolutely. Maslin Braun gone with one hand again when he should have gone for two. Reddy gets it again. This is almost deja vu. Randall has a quick kick. Cannard overruns the ball. Pierce Little comes through. Had a mount of the ball today. Handballs it up to Jake Dignan. He's confronted by Shannon Rusker, but hits Sheldon Nally. Pierce Little gets it away again. Half-hearted tackling effort by Relton Roberts. Zach Stevenson, great pick-up and handball. And Pratt tries to barge his way through, and it will be a ball up on the half-forward flank for the Southern District Crocs.
Hasn't Antel already just lifted a gear in the last 5 minutes? He's probably had 5 or 6 possessions and almost resulted in a couple of goals.
And he is walking from that stoppage, Antel already. He's done a mountain of work, and he is spent for the moment, and the ball lands fortuitously in his laps 42 metres out from goal on a 45-degree angle, and I'm tipping he's not going to make the distance here. I reckon he's cooked, the big fella.
Yeah, he does look pretty tight. He's done a mountain of work in the last 5 or so minutes, so I think he might be on his way to the interchange match if he does kick it.
And it's just another scenario where spreading from the contest didn't work, and he just stood there, didn't spread at all, and just come straight back and landed in his lap.
Yeah, the contest seemed to spread around him, and it just came back to him.
And Reddy, beautiful kick off the boot. He's put us both to shame and put it through for a goal, and Southern Districts extend their lead. 6-2-38 to 3-3-21.
Yeah, Districts are doing what Palmerston couldn't do in that first quarter, and just really taking advantage of the forward-line pressure and the forward-line entries that they've been able to have in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
And alarm bells for Palmerston at the moment?
Yeah, I've seen this happen all too many times this season for Palmerston. The opposition gets 2 or 3 goals ahead, and then all of a sudden it blows out to 6 or 7 far too easily. Yeah,
they've really got to fight back here and try and at least get the next goal or two to get back into the contest. Still playing as well, if not better than the Crocs, but just not making the most of the opportunities, as you say.
Big centre clearance here. Willie Farah against Rowan Smith. So the 2 second string ruckman, Willie Farah to try jump right over the top of him here.
Yeah, I reckon he might have the vertical leap advantage. And yep, Willie rings it down to Roughton Roberts, who gets the handball cleverly out to Shannon Rusker, who kicks the ball forward. Lawton makes good position, but Jance beats him on this occasion. Ooh, gets one in the back, gets the handball up, was Jance, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Districts just seem a bit more desperate for it at the moment. They can sort of sense that they've got their foot on the throat of Palmerston, so they're just sort of taking up. Palmerston really need to respond and go with them here.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not manning up as they were around the stoppages either, Palmerston. Not sure why that is, but it's certainly evident in the Southern Districts forward line. If there's a stoppage, they got more numbers around the contest. Braden McLean now shows Randall a clean pair of heels, handballs it over to Lindsay, who gives it back, and McLean, who's been a shining light, gets a beautiful kick away on his left boot, and a down the field, a very, very, very late call from the umpire, but the Palmy Army will take it, and Justin Emery's got the ball.
Probably a bit unlucky there. It was probably Dan Roy just jumped across the legs of McLean as he went to kick it, trying to spoil more than bump, and it was the umpire that was downfield that actually called it.
Emery should have gone with his first option, and he had a Ewing on the league, but he signalled for Ewing to go back to the goal square and ended up being a 3-on-1, and Southern Districts cleared quite easily.
Well, not quite yet.
Good tackle by Lindsay, and that's a very clever kick. Out to Dino Staunton, who's been in Bali and had a very good time. Another late call on a downfield free kick. And Retty will take it. He goes inboard to Roughton Roberts. Haven't seen much of him. Got a bit of room to move, and that's a beautiful kick. Good spoil, though. And kick off the ground by Nathan McLean. And it's on behind play. Bit of a howdy-do as Nathan Roach comes on to MC Hammer Hamlin. Kicks up to Sammy Audio, and that's a good mark by Big Sammy.
I don't think half-time can come fast enough for Antel Reddy at the moment. He's still behind play just with his hands on his head.
Lindsay Maureen takes a nice mark and kicks to the top of the square for Ewing. Keegan Dingo dropped the mark. Southern don't really have anywhere to go. The ball switched out to Old Meadow. He kicks down the line. Hard running by Lionel Ogden. He's got a fair bit of space. He'll come back into Roughton, who's starting to get his hands on the footy and is very, very dangerous still. Dean Staunton's made good space in the middle of the ground. Plays on immediately. Short kick out to Randall, who's had a mountain of the ball in his 100th. He's had one to remember. Kicks wide to the pocket. Jansen, Lawton and Nathan McLean mops up at the back, and the ball goes out of bounds again. And it'll be a throw-in 10 metres out from Southern District's goal.
Yeah, both teams just seem to be dropping a few players behind the footy now.
Actually a very, very open game at the moment, Matty.
Oh, I mean right down in the actual full forward line, so in the goal squares.
Reddy gets it again. He can't get away from the footy at the moment, Reddy. Cloak brings it out. Shannon Rusker's got the ball and he's made a middle of that one, the big gun, and it is out of bounds.
Yeah, not a very uncharacteristic mistake there from Rusker, but he won't let that faze him.
I reckon he had a bit of time there. I reckon he was going through his mind he might be able to run 5 metres and have a ping at the sticks.
Yeah, it was a mongrel punt from Cloak. It was spinning all over the place, so it was probably a tough one to take hold of straight away.
As Dignan wins that clearance and the ball's kicked up. Great work by Brett Henderson, who wins the marking contest, then plays on and kicks to Willie Farah. Leaping Will. He goes short. Beautiful little kick. I think that might be Old Meadow again. And a beautiful pass to Lawton, who is a chance for his third goal. 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Just better ball moving into the forward line at the moment.
Yeah, the players starting to open up as the players are starting to get sort of really tired before half time. You can just see they're not running into the holes and the spaces to clog it up quite as well as they were earlier. So that's where the space is coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lawton's had his kicking burks on today. Couldn't imagine him having too much difficulty with this one. And he pops it through for his fourth. Another goal to the Crocs. That's their fifth for the quarter. Takes them to 7-2-44 to 3-3-21. And after we both sort of had so much hope for Palmerston at quarter time, a 5-goal-to-1 second term, and their backs are right against it at the moment.
Yeah, Distrcts have come out in this quarter and they've really taken it up a level. So Palmerston, they really need to kick the next goal, you'd think, before half-time, just to sort of have a bit of confidence and make sure the morale's still up going into the main break.
Yeah, they actually kicked the first goal of the second quarter too, Palmerston, so that means the Crocs have kicked 5 unopposed in the next pretty much 10 minutes. Rolton Roberts on the bottom of the pack, and we'll probably have another ball up. In the back by Willie Farah. Missed that one, the umpire. Sheldon Alley comes through, trying to get the ball clear for the Magpies, and he does. Bit of an up and under kick to Sammy Audio. Didn't give him a great opportunity. That's a great tackle by Sammy Audio. Well done. Justin Emery get in there, got hit high, and will get a free kick. Now he's got to move this on quicker here, Emery. Keegan Dingo's dropped back in front of Ewing. So he goes short, and a clever kick to Sheldon Nelly, who's deep, well, hard up against the boundary line, about 30 metres out. Very difficult shot from goal out there.
Looks like he backs himself. He didn't even look to see if anyone was on in the corridor or anything, so taking all the ownership. Make sure.
Yeah, he played back line for us the first few games and went forward and kicked 6 1/4 against the Buffaloes last week. And would you believe that? He's drilled it from the boundary line to put a bit of life back in this contest. That's a magnificent goal from Sheldon Nelly. The umpire didn't move.
Really, was it?
Nah, the umpire did not move. 4-3-27 plays 7-2-44. And to say that Palmy Army needed that one is a massive understatement, Matt. And can they claw their way back in?
Oh, a lot rides on this this centre clearance again. If Palms can kick one more before half-time, they'll really have a bit of joy around the team going into half-time, and a bit of self-belief is probably all they need right now.
Martin Jones back in the ruck for Palmerston, the gloved one, up against Will Farah, the Spring Hill Jack. It'll be interesting to see who wins this one. Neither of them made a very good effort of that. Oh, kick off the ground by Roberts. It's probably kicking in danger as he gets the handball to Willie Farah, who sits it up for Lawton. He should have absolutely taken that one. He dropped an absolute soda, and Jantz works the ball out of bounds, and it's deliberate. I thought he might have paid deliberate there. He didn't disguise that very well, Ray Jantz, what he was up to, and Lawton just sat off him and let it unfold. Now Lawton's confident here as well. Going to see if he can take one out of the Sheldon Nelly goal-kicking book. You going to back him in, Matthew?
No, Willie Farah to fly on the far goal post here.
Yeah, but you wouldn't put that past Big Will either. And I tell you what, oh, he's hit the post. Fantastic effort there by Lawton to extend the lead for Southern Districts.
Willie Farrell was airborne before that footy even went near the post.
So a 3-goal lead here to the Southern District Crocs. It's 7-3-45 to 4-3-27 as Liston brings it back in and hits Ray Jantz. Looks like there's been a change. Liston started in the forward line and has now gone back. And he might even be picking up Lawton, I think.
A lot of one-on-one contests around the ground. Henry Labastida doesn't have one, so there's got to be a Lucy somewhere for Palmerston.
One-on-one contest, an excellent tackle there by Nelly. And not sure what he's paid here. Dumping after the tackle. That's very, very, very stiff by the umpire. Didn't think there was much in that one, Matty.
I did see that one. I was actually watching up the ground to see what was happening up there.
Distrcts have Keegan Dingo free, who takes on Cloak with ease, has a bounce. Kicks to Matt Cannard, who's unopposed in the middle of the ground. And the big gun gets to 50, has a flying shot at goals and is off target and extends Southern Crocs' lead to 19 points. Cannard, is he a known goal kicker, Matty?
I haven't seen a lot of Matty Cannard. He played Thunder in the first year. I came up to Thunder the year after that, so I haven't played with him. I haven't seen a great deal of him.
Well, I hope you haven't played with him, Matthew. That would be a bit awkward, wouldn't it? As Liston brings it back in again, and John Pratt sets himself, but drops what he probably should have taken in the end. Willie Farah jumps all over him, and that is holding the ball for dragging it in. And that is a little bit stiff, but he should have held that mark. Now Willie give the handball out here to Labastida. Not Willie's best effort by a long way, but Labastida has the kick to the 100-game veteran in Randall, who's had a mountain of the footy. Not sure what to do with it here, so he kicks it out of bounds on the full and gives his old team a free kick.
Probably not what I would have recommended in that situation.
Probably not. Up by 3 goals. On the boundary line, you probably nearly hit top of the square there, wouldn't you, Matty?
Yeah, you tried.
He had nothing else. Kirsten Hunter brings it in. Liston unopposed. Runs the legs off Antel, ready just to take the bit of the sting out of him. Kicks it wide. Pierce Little, who's had a fantastic game. He's got Hamlin on short, inboard. That's where he goes. Hamlin turns around and plays on, looking for Ewing, who's not going to get there. Emery flies. Ewing's outside the 50-metre line again, and unfortunately gives away a free kick. Didn't see what that one was for.
Yeah, umpire called tripping, so someone might have just clipped someone around the ankles.
Lawler runs it out for Southern Districts and turns it over. That's 50 metres, surely. Tackling him after he took the mark. Nathan McLean, though.
Palmerston are away here.
Switches it.
They can be clean.
Geez, they have got a mountain of space here. Sheldon Nally, who's been a bit of a spark for him this quarter. He's kicked it long again with another up and under kick, and Sammy Audio takes a fantastic mark and plays on from 50 metres. Ewing one out here. You'll back him in this situation, but Keegan Dingo comes over the top.
Yeah, did very well there, Dingo. He's playing as a Lucy in the back line at the moment. I'm not sure which teams started that, but both Palmerston and Distrcts at the moment have a loose player behind the play.
Yeah, Dave listed for Palmerston, who reads the play very well, and Keegan Dingo for the Crocs, as we've said. And the kick was just a bit high for Buff there. Just gave Dingo too much time to get back and spoil it, as the ball goes out of bounds in Palmerston's forward line with a rushed kick from Clint Guy. Ball comes in now. Smith against Henderson in the ruck. Farah comes from 3 deep, as he does. Audio's over the top, probably unlucky. Oh, Johnny Pratt, I think he threw that one out, but gives it to Clint Guy. Quick kick. Ewing in the goal square. His opponent does well. Henderson had a mountain of the ball. Gives it out to the running Old Meadow, who looks up and hits Dan Roy, who swings on to the left and looks for Old Meadow, but the ball beats them both, and it's out of bounds again.
Yeah, Dan Roy, one of the knee-full players from Aspley this year. Had the pleasure, I guess, of getting into a little bit of a scrap with him in our Alice Springs game earlier in the year.
How'd you go against him?
I like to think that I won.
Well, that means your record's 1-1 after Cam Houghton stitched you up at the AFLNT conference, it must be said, Matty.
Yeah, the Christmas party, I still maintain I won that one too, so there's every chance I
punching above your weight, big gun. Cam Houghton does know how to throw them. Doesn't know how to throw his weight around.
Commercial ops will always have it over footy ops, mate.
Yeah. Fair point. So how have you summed up that first half, Matty?
Yeah, pretty well went according to how we saw it earlier. Palmerston obviously played better in the first quarter. Couldn't do the damage on the scoreboard, which is probably where they needed to.
Yeah.
And Distrcts really asserted themselves on the game in that quarter and kicked well. Was it 5 goals to 2?
It was 5 goals to 2, and Palmerston got the first one within the first minute and kicked the last one in the last couple of minutes. So pretty much apart from those 3 minutes of the game, it was all Southern District Crocs, and they go in 7-4-46, a 19-point advantage to Palmerston's 4-3-27.